Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yes. Thank you very much, Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles, and let's indeed make some noise. Welcome, one and all. Welcome back to another fun-filled, family wholesome episode of The Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. It's your boy MattyB on the call on this lovely Monday night, and we are just 23, 3 days from the magical day, 3 days from the most magical day of the year. Christmas is bearing down on us, but it doesn't matter. We're here, and it's great to be here on this December 22nd, the second official day of winter, and we're going to delve into some of the winter stuff tonight. I have been negligent in my Flyers duties, and we haven't really spent much time unpacking what's been going on with the Philadelphia Flyers. We're going to do some of those things tonight. Get into some of the comings and goings with the Flyers. Flyers are playing right now. We do have post-game coverage. I have the post-game tonight. We had to do a little flip-flop, me and Mike, so I will get you on the post-game. So what we're probably going to do is I'm going to run this show. We're going to end this show, and I'm going to come back. We're not doing a twofer tonight. I'm going to actually sign off and then come back with Clear the Ice at when we hit 0-0-0. We're in the second period. It's nothing right now, Flyers, Canucks. But we're going to talk Flyers before post-game. We're going to continue the conversation about your Philadelphia Eagles as we get ready for this stretch of the season that I feared back in May, actually, when the schedule came out. And the way the schedule broke at the end, I thought it would be one of two ways. That these last three games, Commanders, Bills, Commanders, would be probably not much to play for, depending on where the Commanders were. Or it would be a battle to the end of the division if the Commanders were to have a sort of a revival of what they were in 24, which I think a lot of us thought they were going to do. But it worked out to where the Commanders, the wheels fell off the Commanders' train a long time ago. They are long since eliminated. And the Eagles find themselves in a position heading into Buffalo. You weigh the options here. Do you want to go for that number 2 seed that you don't control? It's not like they can win out, and they have it. They need to win out, and they need help. Do you try to push for that number 2 seed, or do you just let sort of the pieces fall where they may, coast in as the number 3, get your one guaranteed home playoff game, and go from there? You rest up some of the walk-in wounded. We heard some great conversation about that last night. And one of the biggest points of not sitting your starters is because this team still is sort of working out their offensive issues. And this is a great opportunity to do that against the Buffalo Bill team that a lot of people have sort of picked or earmarked for a Super Bowl run. And if they can get their offensive going against the Buffalo Bills, that would give you a lot more confidence heading into the playoffs, because I think we're all writing off Week 18. I'm starting at quarterback for the Eagles on Week 18. That's breaking news out of South Philadelphia. Signed my contract this morning. I will be starting for the Eagles at home against the Commanders in Week 18. So, obviously, Week 18 is off the table. We all know where that's headed. But what are they going to do against Buffalo? And that's going to be the big story that we follow throughout the week. Again, we're going to get into some Flyers in the Matt V. Mitchkov drama. The Russian, I don't even think I can use the word superstar anymore when it refers to this kid, but sort of some drama between him and Rick Tocchet, curling it on the bench in New York on Saturday. Tocchet addressed it today. We'll get into some of that. The hot stove's heating up. Philly's made another move. Zach Pop. I usually put little graphics together for these moves. Not this one. No. I'm not going to waste the energy and the creative drive that it takes for me to put together one of those things on Zach Pop. It's not going to do it, because I'm a betting man, I'm not really a betting man, but if I was a betting man, I want to say he's not making the 26-man roster. But the Phillies did make a move as another pitcher, not an offensive move. Again, I want to be very clear about that. Not an offensive move, but a defensive move. The Mets were at it again today. Jeff McNeil's gone. Got traded. What the hell's going on, man? What are the Mets doing? Are they all in for like a Kyle Tucker or a? And I said this. I still think they're going to go out and sign both Tucker and Bregman. I still think they're going to do that. They got to do something like that. Whew. But we'll get in the hot stove today. Your day in Philadelphia sports history, we will do the card thing, and we also will do the of the night segment. All those great things that you have come to know and love here on the program on this beautiful, beautiful Monday night. So let's check in. Star Wars checks in with the Zach Pop. I don't know why we signed him. Now, and I kind of already let off with that. Yeah, an arm, a body. Someone that you can rely on for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs this summer, because that's probably where he's headed. I don't know. I can't. With still so much uncertainty and what is going on with JT, with still so much uncertainty about the Phillies offense, why are we still signing pitchers, relief pitchers? I'm okay with the bullpen, honestly. With what we brought in and what we already had and what we have internally in the minors, I'm okay with the bullpen. I really am. Happy birthday to Phillies legend Steve Carlton. Yes, indeed. 81 today? I saw that earlier. There's a picture right above my right shoulder. That's Steve Carlton up there on my wall. Signed photo of him pitching there. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, left-hander ever to pitch. Definitely the greatest left-hander in Phillies history. Joe Hale checks in. Hey, everybody, what's up? Joe, how are you tonight? And, just so let me get this out of the way. Yes, the phone lines are open. The link should be hitting your streams right about now. Oh, no. Yeah, there it is. It's in there now. So chime on in if you want to get part of the conversation. I will bring you on, and we'll make you just that, part of the conversation. So, but again, we're going to run this show a little differently tonight. It's the second period in South Philly. Flyers Canucks scoreless, I believe, still. Kind of looking at this game half and half here. I will have post game tonight. We had to make a last minute switch. We're not going to do a twofer. There's a reason why I'm not doing a twofer. Actually, it's 1-0 Flyers. Flyers just went up they just scored. Okay, so 1-0 Flyers with about 5 minutes remaining in the second period. So when this game goes final, or right around the time the game goes final, I will end this show and cut the stream, and then I will come back on with Clear the Ice. Again, there's a reason why I'm doing it like that. I don't want to get into all the technical, but I have you on the Clear the Ice tonight, as Mike Laro and me had to switch due to sort of a technical or a scheduling issue. So what we're going to do tomorrow night, Mike will have you on post game. So I'll be back tomorrow with a final word. So I get another final word out of it. So we will have a final word tomorrow night, as Mike Laro will be doing post game duties in Chicago. He's not going to Chicago, but he'll have the Blackhawk game. We're not running that kind of budget here. And here's the rest of your schedule for the week. Tonight you had the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight. You got me, and we'll do some Clear the Ice tomorrow. The Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn. I do want to preference that I'm still waiting on final confirmation from Kyle about the time and the day. We may actually do it on Christmas Eve. That actually might happen on Christmas Eve. So just be flexible with that. But we're going to try to fit it in at some point. But he's going to let me know in the morning where he stands on tomorrow. So tentatively tomorrow at 4 o'clock, the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn. Pittsburgh Sports Tonight tomorrow night. Props, locks, parlays, and then you're going to add in the final word there, the last minute add-on, and Mike Lyle will be back late night because that game's going to be over around 11:30. Late night Flyers, Blackhawks, and then Christmas Eve, which we will have no live programming, but a slew of rebroadcasted stuff, everything from the week that we've done already, non-post-game show. We'll be seen on Christmas Eve, and then potentially, I don't know, we might be doing a Birds Blast. We'll see. Christmas Day, we'll do some rebroadcast stuff if we have any. And then the final word with me on Christmas Day night. And then Friday, we'll get into our regularly scheduled program for the weekend. And then Sunday looks like a really massive day. And that's a good thing for us. Big day for Sunday. So that is your schedule for the rest of the week. And then kind of what we're doing tonight. So let's strap it in, strap it on, strap it up, and let's begin here. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times, and let's roll with your day in Philadelphia sports history. On this day, December 22nd, back in 1862, this was interesting because I knew he was old, obviously. I knew he was really old, but I wasn't aware he was born during the Civil War. But on this day in 1862, Cornelius McGillicuddy, a.k.a. Connie Mack, the Philadelphia A's owner, manager, and perhaps the most influential sports figure in Philadelphia, was born in East Brookfield, Massachusetts. The tall tactician predated the major leagues, but by the time of his death in 1956, he brought American League Baseball to Philadelphia, won the city's first 5 championships before the Phillies got even one, and pushed his weight around for 50 years in a quest to make Philadelphia the center of the professional baseball universe. Ultimately, the city wasn't big enough for 2 Titans, and the A's were sold to leave Philadelphia solely in the hands of the National League Phillies. But how's this for respect? Even though they were crosstown rivals, the Phillies continued to play in the aptly named Connie Mack Stadium and even erected a statue of Mack that does currently sit outside of Citizen Bank Park. So happy birthday to, yes, probably the most influential figure in Philadelphia baseball, right? MLB, professional baseball. Connie Mack, born on this day in 1862. Happy birthday, Connie Mack. And no, I wasn't at his birthday party. I didn't cut the cord. You know, I didn't smack his ass. I wasn't there. Just reporting from what, you know, I'm not a vampire. I haven't spanned the centuries. All right. But Connie Mack, born on this day in 1862. And that is your day in Philadelphia sports history. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, Cincinnati. Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Philadelphia. Cooper DeJean, DB, Philadelphia. Bijan Robinson, running back. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver, Kansas City. Lane Johnson, offensive tackle. What are we doing? Star Wars, why are you rattling off players? Philadelphia, George Kittle, tight end, Sanford. Is this the NFC Pro Bowl roster? What is this? Philadelphia, George Kittle, tight end, San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey, running back, San Francisco, Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver. Star Wars, what in the hell? What are you doing? Star Wars is just naming off numbers here. Nobody respects adversity like Jalen Hurts. No one responds to adversity like Jalen Hurts. Top 10. Top 10 what? Current players in the NFL? Let's look at your list. Is that correct? Is this the top 10 current players in the NFL? Jamar Chase is number 1? I don't know about that. Where are the rest of the quarterbacks at? Where are any of the quarterbacks at? There's no quarterbacks on this list. There's one. Caleb Williams? You're telling me, what is this? What the hell is this thing? Player. Top 10 player. Well, like what? Like in the NFL currently? By who? Who created this list? And where's Bo Nix? Where's what's his name? The old boy Drake May. Where's Josh Allen? Where's Pat Mahomes? Where are these guys at? What list is this? Star Wars has got some top 10 lists that apparently only has like one quarterback on it. But all right, as soon as Star Wars can figure out a little bit more clearly what he's trying to show here, we'll get deeper into it. But until that point, remember the phone lines are open. So if you want to jump in and join the conversation, just click on that link that has landed in the social media or platform, whatever digital platform that you're watching this show, and you can hop on and be part of the good times here on the network. About 2:43 remaining in the second period, still 1-0 Flyers with the lead. Dan Vladar got to start tonight as he's back from his injury. So let's talk some Flyers hockey because it was an interesting day. Rick Tocchet addressing the media for like really the first time since the incident. Well, here's the thing, and let's be very clear. I remember seeing it. I played hockey. You guys know that. I played hockey throughout, up through in my adult years. I've officiated hockey. I've coached hockey. I've been around hockey all my life. And stuff like that on the benches happen all the time. It's not nothing personal. It's not nothing really, it's not even nothing newsworthy. Unless someone's like throwing punches on the bench. That's not, a heated argument or a discussion. It's nothing, right? It really isn't. But because it was a incident involving Saquon Barkley. Yes, Saquon Barkley was on the Flyers bench on Saturday in Madison Square Garden, hopped on a plane, flew down to Landover, and participated in the Eagle game on Saturday night. No, it was between Mitch Koff and Rick Tocchet, and of course their assistant coach, who speaks Russian to act as the mediator and translator. And the argument wasn't even between Rick Tocchet and MattyB and Mitch Koff. It was actually between Mitch Koff and the assistant who spoke Russian. And it was in reference to shifts and switches and Mitch Koff coming off the ice when he felt tired. Now, the media, of course, has run with this, and they want to make. And again, I'm not falling into the same trap as everybody else. It's the media's job to make something out of something. All right, that's what they're there for. They are, I always look at the media and journalists and all that from the very bottom baseline thing that they are. They are trying to represent every single fan out there, from the logical fan to the passionate fan to the not so smart fan to the casual fan to the diehard fan. They are asking questions that represent the entire spectrum of fandom. So I don't look at any questions the media asks as stupid. And of course, with journalistic integrity and what have you, it's their job to ask questions. It's what people do with those questions that creates this drama. Everyone will say, oh, it's the media or it's the sports reporters. First of all, the Flyers beat reporters, the Phillies beat reporters, the Eagles beat reporters, Sixers beat reporters are goddamn a joke of what it used to be like back in the day. These guys they're nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's their job to look for a story. They want to know what's going on the bench. It's what people take those stories and do with them is where it really kind of goes off the rails, and the negadelphia and all this other thing that we get straddled with as a fan base. But to ask a question about what happened on that bench between Mitch Koff and the assistant coach was a completely legit question, because that reporter is representing a fan or a fan base or a part of the fan base that wants to know. And what Tocchet gave them was essentially what was going on. Now, Tocchet didn't seem like he was wrapped around in any drama. He seemed like it was just another day at the office. It was a dispute between the assistant coach, or it was a miscommunication or something they didn't understand. It was being cleared up between a player and a coach. It was a little animated. But again, unless they're throwing punches on the bench, that ain't nothing. So there's been a lot of heat coming off of that as Tocchet, now a certain side of the fan base is mad at Rick Tocchet because Mitch Koff's minutes have been restricted. He's not staying on the ice for long shifts. Matter of fact, with the overtime against Buffalo, I don't even think he got on the ice. Right? There's been some restrictions in Mitch Koff's ice time. But we're so starved right now in this town to grab onto something with the Flyers and to crown the next greatest thing in the Flyers. We as a fan base, and I'm being very clear about this, not the media, but we as a fan base don't want to hurt his feelings. We want to give him all the excuses in the world to get by with. This is the plain and simple truth when it comes to MattyB and Mitch Koff, as up to this point of his career and of the season. Underwhelming. Absolutely underwhelming. Now, on whose perspective is the question? Is it underwhelming on the Flyers' perspective of the MattyB Mitch Koff return? Or is it underwhelming on the fans' perspective of MattyB Mitch? Don't forget, we crowned him Wayne Gretzky long before he stepped on the ice here in Philadelphia. We as a fan base. 99.9% of you all, to include me, to a certain degree. I knew he was a little bit. But 99.9% of you had no idea who MattyB Mitch Koff was prior to being drafted by the Flyers. 99.9% of you didn't know who Porter Martone was before being drafted by the Flyers. 99.9% of you didn't know who Oliver Bonk, Denver Berkey, Jack Nesbitt. I mean, we can go down the list. You have no idea because you don't follow college, major junior hockey, USHL. Normal people don't follow that stuff unless you're a real puckhead, right? But 99% of you did not know who he was. But we crowned him the next greatest thing before he even stepped foot on North American ice. Comes over last year under John Tortorella, has a pretty decent rookie season, getting acclimated to the NHL game, left the ice. What was he, second in the Rookie of the Year voting in the Calder last year at the end? Second in that. Then he decides to go into his offseason and not touch the ice for 4 months. What the hell is that, man? 4 months? You know, you're a 1-year player in this league, 1 year, and you decide the best course of action for you in your first offseason is not to skate and expect to come into camp at the National Hockey League level with a new head coach and everything's supposed to click? No. Listen, you know, Mitchkoff's lucky that Tortorella wasn't here. I don't think Mitchkoff would have played in the beginning of the season with that attitude and what he did. Tocchet played him. Mitchkoff has been behind the play all season long. He's been one step away all season long. He's been routinely in the wrong spot, routinely behind the play. He has not played well. Now, if it's because of what happened in that 4-month April through August time frame, maybe. But I told you when the story originally broke, the Mitchkoff thing, not stepping on the ice, is not necessarily okay. You can work your way back into shape. The kid's been skating since he's probably been about 4 years old. I'm not really worried about that. He's an elite talent. It's the work ethic situation. It's the fact that he felt that you get away with that at this level of play. So he comes into the season with that strike against him, and he's had a tough go of it. And he's being held accountable, and he's being held with consequences. Mitchkoff has not achieved anything at this level to be given any sort of carte blanche on any kind of situation. Now, largely, Rick Tocchet has handled his business the way he's supposed to handle his business. But there's a large part of the fan base is pissed off at Rick Tocchet because he's riding MattyB Mitchkoff, or he's sort of going down the John Tortorella road. Well, what is he supposed to do? Huh? Is he supposed to go Rob Thompson on him and let him do whatever he wants? No. Mitchkoff hasn't earned anything at this level. And even when he does earn stuff at this level, you shouldn't be doing that to players. So the media, and then the big thing is that people are claiming that it's the media, people like me that are trying to create something from nothing. Yeah, no, we're just talking about, we're reporting what's happening. You people are taking it and running with it and creating your own narratives from it, because we want so desperately for MattyB Mitchkoff to be the guy. We don't want to piss him off, run him out of town, all that other whatever. Listen, man, I don't know where we got so soft as a fan base and so goddamn like Charmin soft. I'm not even soft, but Charmin soft. It's absolutely disgusting to see what the Philadelphia sports fan has evolved or de-evolved into. So MattyB Mitchkoff has not played well. It's okay to say that. And it's also okay to hold him accountable through consequences for not playing well. And the argument on the bench, that was nothing. It really wasn't. It was nothing. Now, Rick Tocchet has an interesting philosophy with his team. If they're tired, they can pull themselves off the ice. At that level, you can get away with that. These are professional athletes. These are the 1% of the 1%, and you can get away with them, understanding when they're too tired. But the knock on Mitchkoff has been 20-second shifts, and he's too tired to continue on. That's not Rick Tocchet's fault. I mean, that's not his fault. That's conditioning and Mitchkoff not doing what he's supposed to do. So listen, if Mitchkoff's feelings are hurt, hey, man, sorry, comrade. You got to get over it, dude. I mean, you're going to have to get over it. You haven't earned anything at this level. And as far as the Flyer media, and I'm going to give them a rare golf clap for asking those questions. That's their job. They represent the entire fan base, not just the hoity-toity, right? Not just the hockey heads. Not just the people who like eat, sleep, and breathe hockey. No. They represent all levels and all sides of the fan base. And they got to ask questions that every fan would want to know the answer to. That's part of the job. It's what people are doing with that is what's creating the drama, the so-called drama. Media gets a bad rap for that. They really do. They're not creating drama. They're asking questions. People are creating the drama. So Mitch Koff struggling. The Flyers, again, 1-0 right now as they're in the second intermission. We will do the Clear the Ice program a little bit later on tonight. Flyers are playing well, but there's still some things missing from this team in order to be an actual competitor. And that's going to be a number one center. And then again, stop me if you've not heard this before. A number one center, a number one defenseman, and yes, a number one goalie. I don't know where we're getting confused that Dan Vladar is a number one goalie. He's not. We need an actual number one goalie. And I think was it Joe who was asking me about this last night? Somebody was asking me about the goalies. So I think it was Joe. About Carson Bjornsson, Igor Zarajin, the next two contestants in The Price is Right that are getting ready to make their mark on the goaltending situation. That is the Flyers' plan for goalie. It's not to go out and sign a big free agent. It's not to go out and trade for somebody. It's to develop from within with their the next two in line, the two high draft picks back to back taken, by the way, Bjornsson in the second round and Zarajin in the third round. First time the Flyers ever did that in a draft. Went back to back rounds with goalies, high level, second and third round. They're your next two. Bjornsson's with the Iron Pennies, but the Phantoms. Zarajin should be over this spring, finishing up his time in the KHL. So that problem is going to literally have to fix itself in time. But as far as a number one centerman, a number one defenseman, these are not something new that we're calling out for. And with the trade of Quinn Hughes, who, by the way, I'm not sitting here telling you that I would have been able to go to sleep tonight knowing that the Flyers gave up like 7 high prospects and a draft pick for Quinn Hughes. Now that wasn't going to work for me either. I'm not saying they should have been all in on that, but that kind of trade, a Quinn Hughes-like trade for a centerman and a defenseman, is what's going to put this team over the hump. Because I'm also here to kind of let you in on a little secret. We're not going to be able to find internally a number one center and a number one defenseman. Not in the next 3 years. Maybe over the next 5 or 6 years, yeah. But if we want to get back into this thing, because let's face it, we're running out of patience, right? We are. Year 3, everyone's really kind of contented this year or sort of conceded themselves into, you know what, this has got to be a playoff year. Rightfully so. But we're running out of patience with this rebuild a little bit. We want to see some of the results of it. We want to be a cup contender. And we all sit here and say, we understand it's going to take time. But deep down, we're running out of patience. And that goes for me too. And if we're really wanting to sort of take a next step in this evolution, continue to develop from within, but really take that next step into competition, they're going to have to make a Quinn Hughes-like trade at some point. They're going to have to say goodbye to some prospects at some point. If not, and if they stay the course, you're looking at about 5 or 6 years from now, they're a Stanley Cup contender, which is fine if that's what they want to do. I don't know if I can make it along the ride that long, but that's what you're going to do if you stay this course. If you want to jumpstart this thing and go from what they might accomplish this year to instant Stanley Cup competitor, say next year or the year after, they're going to have to make that trade at some point for a player like that. Or go out and sign one. I haven't looked at the upcoming free agency class, but there's going to have to be a move made at some point that kickstarts this thing to the next level. So, but it's been generally a good story so far. But I'm happy with the Flyers. I am, but I just wanted to clear the air on that Mitch Koff thing. What is this? Star Wars. What are you doing over here, man? Top 10 NFL players in 2025. Oh, so right now, our Saquon Barkley, he's number 1. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill. So wait, was this a preseason thing or is this something like right now? Was this heading into 2025? Because I can buy that. Absolutely, I could buy this, but not right now. Tyreek Hill gone for the year? This was going into the season, right? Star Wars, man, are you stuck in a time warp? It's not August, dude. Wow. Jalen Hurts, these rankings put the player's performance. So, whoa. So you're telling me right now, top 25 or top 10, Saquon Barkley's number 1 in the NFL? That can't be right, man. He's barely got to 1,000 yards. Honestly, and I'm not going to sit here, and Mahomes is gone with an injury 2 weeks ago. Tyreek Hill, honestly, I haven't heard Tyreek Hill's name all year. Didn't he go down with an injury like early on? I don't know, man. You might want to check your sources, Star Wars, but keep up the good work. Joe, what's up?
I'm going to argue. I think that was last year's top 10 or preseason.
Going into the season, maybe.
Yeah, I don't see because Tyreek Hill's injured. Let's talk about Zach Pop. Why would you waste your money on that freaking move?
Yeah. I don't know, but in 2022, that would have been a good move, but not now.
So you say the Mets are going out. I think it's going to be the other way around. I think Tucker's going to go to Boston. Wilson Contreras' move was a good move for Boston.
That's a really good move. It's a very good move.
And they have Bregman's going to Boston right now, it looks like.
No, Boston's got to try to keep pace with the Yankees and the Blue Jays. And now they got to really kind of try to keep pace with Baltimore because Baltimore in some ways has surpassed them this offseason, so, at least on paper.
Here's where it's going to get interesting. You said Baltimore. If JT signs somewhere else, they get Baltimore's catcher.
Listen, all bets are on right now, Joe. I agree with you. The JT situation is not getting enough news. What's going on there? Why is JT not signed with the Phillies or with anybody else? He's got to be negotiating. There's a bidding war. There's something's not right in the JT Realmuto universe right now because he's not signed.
I'm going to give you my thought, and I heard this on the afternoon show. Well, yeah, on the 94 WIP. Our buddy, the one that comes on.
Kyle?
Yes. No, not Kyle. The other one that you bring on.
Fritz?
Yes, Jack Fritz said it's the years. It's the years.
Okay. So he wants 3. Phillies want to give him 2, that kind of thing?
Yes. That's what every MLB team wants to give him 2. And he wants 3.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to figure. I mean, listen, if they bring back whatever, I've always resigned myself at the beginning of this offseason that JT was going to be part of this team next year because I just didn't think there was anything better out there. And as you mentioned, Adley Rutschman, I know his name's been brought up many times in the offseason. I also heard Hunter Goodman's name. They're not getting him out of Colorado. They have a better shot of getting Rutschman out of Baltimore. But either one of those types of catchers, if they don't get JT, it's going to cost a pretty penny, man. They're going to give up 4, maybe 5 prospects. I don't know if I want to do that, man. I really don't know. It's almost like I just want to sign JT to 2 years, run him out. Maybe we get some progression inside from Caden Hedinger, or Marshawn takes another step, or Farabis way down in freaking rookie ball gets red hot and bursts up the minor league chain over the next 2 years. But I'm not ready to give up 5 or 3 to 4 prospects for Rutschman. I'm really not, man.
I'm going to give you a sleeper for starting pitching for the Phillies. Chris Bassett out of Toronto. Would you sign him?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. You know what? Walker Buehler. Why don't we re-sign Walker Buehler?
I think he signed. With someone.
I'll take a look. Keep doing your thing, Joe. I'll see what Walker Buehler is doing because I haven't seen it, and I've been paying attention.
I love the Chris Bassett deal. If the Phillies, he wants 2 years, $15 million, would you do it?
Yeah, I do it.
And here's why you would do it. Because I'm going to give you some breaking news. It is official that Mattingly is signed, sealed, and delivered with the Phillies, but they're not announcing it yet.
How you got this information? You got a mole inside the bank?
My buddy works for the Phillies behind the scenes, and he heard that Mattingly is signed, sealed, and delivered.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Breaking news. It's a Wrap Sports. Joe Hale reports his source. Don Mattingly is signed, sealed, and delivered, but the news will be withheld to what, after the holidays?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. Don Mattingly, bench coach. Or I should say your next manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, Don Mattingly.
I like that. I want to talk Flyers and Minchkoff.
Let's do some Mitchkoff. Let's do it.
I'm glad that he stood up for it against the assistant coaches. And I'm glad Takeda had Mitch off his back this morning. Say no comment, no comment. That's a true head coach.
Listen, those things happen all the time in game, and as I said, unless they're throwing fists on the bench, it is what it is. I mean, it's a high pressure situation. Alpha males. I mean, it is what it is, right? And they're good. The voices will get raised. Again, as long as they're not physically involved in an altercation, there's really nothing to see other than that.
I wonder who asked the question.
I saw the presser. It was so what I don't know if you did you see the presser today that he gave pregame?
Yes.
And it was one Mitchkoff question after another, and he got frustrated at the end and said, "What's 5 now? I'm not answering anymore. Let's talk about something else." He claimed the media is trying to create something that's not there. I disagree with that because, as I said, it's the media's job, beat reporters' job, to represent their entire fan base or their entire listening or their entire newsprint population, and covering all facets of fandom, from the casual fan to the novice fan to the diehard. So no question's a stupid question. And Taka getting a little annoyed by 5 straight Mitchkoff questions, I get it. He wants to talk about some of the other players and he wants to get off that situation. But hey, man, that's part of the job. And he handled it well. You know, hey, I'm not going to answer him anymore. Let's talk something more.
He could have said something nasty.
He could have. Absolutely. He could have done. And then people were claiming he was like John Tortorella today. No. Tortorella would have said something nasty and he would have, that would have been different.
Sports works for ESPN and he still hates the Flyers. I know that. He always bashes them when he talks. He's on ESPN. Yes. They're spotlighting Noah Cates tonight, by the way.
Spotlighting Noah Cates?
Yeah, on right now on the Flyers.
Okay. So NPR 1783 says Aaron Donald retired in 2024. Yeah, man. Star Wars, man, I don't know where you're pulling that list from. I'll give you the preseason of 2025. You also, Chris Bassett is signed with the Mets.
Did he?
That's what I'm getting from another source. Let me pull it up. I'll look at it right now. Mets. There we go.
Is it signed, sealed, and delivered?
See, I don't see him on here. I see. No, I don't see him on here at all. He's not on the list.
I'd like that McNeil trade to Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland. But here's the thing about that trade: the pitcher they got was in the rookie leagues. I mean, this is a guy. This guy's years and years away, right? This was a salary dump, Joe. They're clearing cap for something, and I'm telling you, they got no choice but to sign at least 2 of these big names. They got nothing left. Is Soto.
Right.
They got nothing left. You got Soto, Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, and does Conforto still play there? They got nothing. They got to make a big move, man.
Is on the Giants.
Who is Conforto?
Yeah, he was on the Giants like in the Dodgers.
Chris Bassett rumor. Yeah, he's not. That's not signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay.
So Bassett's still out there.
And what's up with the Sixers?
What about the Sixers? Having a good season so far, man.
They're hot.
They're very hot.
That's Ricky's team. They're not my team. My team is the Birds. Yeah. And I think that they're going to play all the starters. He's not suspended. From
Steen?
Yeah, they didn't get suspended. They got fined under closed amount.
Yeah, I saw. I went back and watched that. Yeah, it is what it is.
By the way,
what's that?
right here.
How you doing?
So I'm babysitting tonight.
There you go. Kill two birds with one stone.
So that's it.
All right, Joe. Tomorrow night we'll be back because I have
No.
post game tonight. I am going to have a show tomorrow night. What's that?
You got post game tomorrow, right?
No, we switched. So I got post game tonight. Mike, we switched last minute. Mike's going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tonight. And so I'm going to finish this show, come back with post game, and then tomorrow he's going to do post game, and I'm going to do this show. So,
and then he wants to open up the phone lines. Al even said that on Friday. I don't know if you guys know that.
No, I didn't see that. I was going to start taking calls.
He wants to. I think that'll be funny with Al. Old man Al, Crazy Al.
What's that?
Old man Al and Crazy Al. I think it'll be hilarious.
I think it'll be really good, and he should do it. Sundays, especially for the Sunday show, for both of them, they should open them up.
Because he was talking about, because Ricky mentioned that you open the phone lines.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. And he said he always watches it, Big Al. Shout out to Big Al and everybody else. And shout out to Pat going live at like 12 o'clock in the morning on TikTok. What's up with
Pat's
that?
doing his thing, man. He's trying to keep himself get in the mix. And we want to bring Pat back soon. We really do. We're still working on that. And hopefully
I talked to Steve today.
You talked to Steve Fuentes?
Yes.
Oh, how's he doing?
Good. I talked to him every once in a while because his daughter swims.
Okay. Yeah, Steve's still, he's still dealing with some things. And again, when he's ready to come back, he's more than welcome back.
You said the best of for Wednesday. Can you do the best of all time, maybe?
So I would love to be able to do that, but unfortunately, without getting into too much of the technical stuff, I don't have the footage from all time.
Like for a month, the best.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to start doing that now. So what I've begun to do, and this is starting now, or it actually started last weekend, where we're going to, especially on days where there's no programming scheduled, like this week would be Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. I got one show on Christmas Day. We're going to run best of. Now, once we get past the holidays and we get back into January, I'm going to run the best of on Saturdays. So everything that was from the week will be run on Saturdays during dead air time.
Ricky, because if he's on, like, he'll message it and like ask the call in. So, hey, Ricky, if you watch this, you can't call in on a Saturday.
On Saturdays during the day, during the best of, you cannot call in because it's all pre-recorded. But that's what we're going to do, and then I'll start holding on to some of this tape. And then maybe at the end of 26, we'll run a best of the year during the holidays. So that'll be something we can look forward to.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, something new. A lot more work for me, though. Let me tell you what.
Hey, you need a producer.
Need a lot of things. But yes, a producer would be great. Somebody who's dedicated behind the scenes, that's all they do, is sit there and just cut tape, make graphics, all that.
Hey, Jack Fritz.
We'll get Jack on that.
I know what Jack Fritz watches it.
I'll get Jack on that. But we'll get Jack back here as soon as a guest. As soon as we calm down a little, right before spring training, I'll reach out to him and get him back on here. So we'll have some fun with Jack.
When it's Birds Blast, is it tomorrow?
Right now it's tomorrow at 4, but I talked to Kyle today, and he still has to get back to me. So hopefully I'll hear something in the morning. But I'll let everybody know.
Okay, I love that chat.
Yeah. All right, Joe. We'll talk tomorrow, man. All right.
Yep.
Joe Hale. All right. So yeah, let's do a score update. It is 1-0 Flyers. I got 14-48 on the third. So as we get closer to the end of when this game ends, we'll transition over to CTI, and we'll do. And I got a scoring update. I must be behind because it's 2-0 Flyers. I must be about a few seconds behind here. No, they're probably going to score right here. No. I must be really behind. But anyway, when the game ends, we'll come back and we will do some clear the ice. All right. Brass, speaking of Ricky Deal. Hello, Ricky. Let's go Flyers, Ricky.
And go Flyers.
Absolutely, my man. So what's on your mind tonight, Ricky Deal? Oh, yeah, Grunstrom just scored. That is 2-0 Flyers. So, Ricky Deal, the Flyers are up 2-0 into the third period. Are they going to win tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching the game?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think they might win too. Vancouver's a weird team. They just traded Quinn Hughes, but they got a boatload of players back. So I don't know if they're quite in a rebuild or if they're just retooled, but they've been having a very good road trip up to this point. So we'll see how the Flyers can hold out. But so far, Vladar pitching the shutout, which is a good thing. What else is on your mind, Ricky?
And go Eagles.
Ricky, Buffalo, Eagles. Do the Eagles play the starters or do they sit the starters? What would you do? Play the starters or sit? Play the starters?
Yup.
I don't know, Ricky. I don't know, man. I'm torn. And as we get closer to game time, we'll talk more about it. I'm torn about this, man. The Eagles can't, they can in theory get the second seed, right? They can't get the first seed. And then in theory, they could fall back into the fourth seed. But even at the fourth seed, they still get a home playoff game. With the third seed, you get a home playoff game. With the second seed, you get potentially 2 home playoff games if things break right. But this team is banged up. And I said this back during the bye week. If the Eagles made a Super Bowl run, it would be 11 weeks in a row if they weren't the number 1 seed. It'd be 11 weeks in a row from the next game which they had, which was against Green Bay coming out of the bye, all the way to the Super Bowl. That's a lot of football without any time off. You might have to manufacture some time off. Now, yes, you can use week 18 as that time off, but this team needs some rest, Ricky. They need to get healthy for the ultimate goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still say play the starters, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good enough. All right, Ricky. Listen, man, tomorrow night, I'll be back. I'll be back a little bit later on tonight for Flyers postgame. So make sure you're tuned in the rest of the week, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, my man, Ricky Deal. Good stuff, Ricky Deal. All right. So, yeah, 2-0 now. Oh, no, 3-0. Flyers are running away with this thing. Looking like it's going to be a blowout. 12 minutes. I got 12 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the third. I don't know what you people are seeing, but I see 12-11. Let me see if I can refresh this. Anyway, 3-0 Flyers. We will be back for some clear the ice here at the end of the game, and we'll get things. So let's transition now real quickly to the we'll go to the card review. We did Up the Night last night. I want to do card. No, you know what? The heck with it. Let's go into the off. My hot stove is so far behind. I got to get caught up. So let's get into the hot stove. What am I doing? What in the heck? Oh, man. Let's get into the hot stove right now. I am so far behind on this. So let's catch everybody up to where I left off last week with my hot stove report in terms of the player. Got his name written down here. And we'll start with him and work our way back up. But, yeah, so I'm like literally like 5 pages behind. So, man, all right. Robert Suarez, the pitcher from the Braves or from the Padres, is now a Brave. He signed a 3-year deal. So he's moving on with his 40 saves, taking his act from the NL West now to the NL East. Another potential problem for the Phillies as he joins the Braves. Colin Holderman taking his act from Pittsburgh to Cleveland on a 1-year deal. Alikal Badu, the outfielder formerly of the Tigers, is now a Brewer on a 1-year deal. And, of course, one of the big, did they score again? No. Yes, they did. Is it 4-0? Pete Alonso, of course, the big deal. 5-year contract with the Baltimore Orioles. One of the second big piece of the free agent class to fall. Donovan Walton, former Philly farmhand, is now on his way to the Angels on a minor league contract. Moving on. Michael Stefanik, formerly of the Blue Jays, is now an Athletic. He signed a minor league deal. Micah Sorka going from the Cubs to the Diamondbacks on a 1-year contract. Colin Snyder going from Seattle to the Cubs on a minor league deal. Michael Sine from the Braves, now headed to the Dodgers, was claimed off of waivers. Zach Short of the Astros, now a Yankee on a minor league deal. Ryan Rolson from the Braves, now a White Sox, claimed off of waivers. Chase Lee from Detroit to Toronto was traded for minor league left-hand pitcher Johan Simon. Brooks Kriske is now an Athletic, going from the Twins on a minor league deal. Edwin Diaz, another big piece off that Mets team, is, of course, on his way to L.A. to be a Dodger on a 3-year deal to become potentially, I don't know if he's the new closer out there, but just to add that to that back end of the bullpen, it's looking pretty damn good for the 2-time defending world champion. Carlos Duran is now a Dodger, leaving the Athletics on a minor league deal. Tim Elko is staying with Chicago on a minor league contract. Our old friend Greg Soto left the Mets, is headed to Pittsburgh on a 1-year deal. Tyler Rogers is leaving the Mets. Everyone's leaving the Mets, and he's now in Toronto on a 3-year contract. Luis Perez going to Washington. He was traded for left-hand pitcher Jake Bennett. Brian Navarro, who was a Philly farmhand a long time ago, is now is staying in Miami on a minor league contract. Steven Matz going from Buffalo to Tampa Bay on a 1-year deal, on a 2-year deal, sorry. And let's continue the flowing through. Ha-Sung Kim is now a Brave on a 1-year, re-signs with the Braves on 1 year. Jake Bennett, going from Washington to Boston, was traded for Luis Perez. Tyler Alexander from the White Sox to the Rangers on a 1-year deal. Jordan Romano, with his 8 saves, 8.23 ERA, and 47 strikeouts, taking his act out west to the Angels on a 1-year deal. Drew Pomerantz from the Cubs, now an Angel on a 1-year deal. Jorge Polanco is now going to the Mets. That's a pretty big contract. I missed this one. I don't remember seeing this one. Signed a 2-year deal. Polanco batted .265, 26 homers and 78 RBIs last year for Seattle, is now in New York as a Met. Kevin Newman goes from Detroit to Kansas City on a minor league deal. Hobie Milner, former Philly farmhand, going from Texas to the Cubs on a 1-year deal. Jack Little, Detroit to Detroit on a minor league contract. Andrew Kisner going from San Francisco to Seattle on a 1-year deal. Adolis Garcia, of course, on a 1-year contract, going from Texas to the Phillies. Nick Frasco staying in L.A. on a minor league contract with the Dodgers. Jason Foley going from Detroit to San Francisco on a 1-year deal. Alexis Diaz going from Atlanta to Texas on a 1-year deal. Oliver Dunn leaving Milwaukee on his way to Chicago to the White Sox on a minor league contract. Logan Davidson going from the Angels to the Rays on a minor league deal. And we're getting through it, man. I was way behind. John Curtis staying in Arizona on a minor league contract. Drew Anderson. Remember how John Curtis was a hot name a few years ago. Drew Anderson in Detroit on a 1-year contract. Lane Thomas, formerly of the Guardians, is now a Royal on a 1-year deal. Caleb Thinbar staying with the Cubs on a 1-year contract. Ali Sanchez going from Boston to the Yankees on a minor league deal. Albert Suarez staying in Baltimore on a minor league contract. Dustin May going from Boston to St. Louis on a 1-year deal. Mark Leiter Jr. Taking his act to the Athletics. I'm telling you, they are going to be a playoff team. You heard it here first. Mark Leiter, or not Mark Leiter, but the A's, they still don't have a city, but the A's will be a wild card team this year. You heard it here first. Someone's going to have to go to the Sacramento Rivercat Stadium, a AAA stadium, and play playoff baseball in 2026. He's going from the Yankees to the Athletics. Kenley Jansen, missed out on him. From the Angels to the Tigers on a 1-year deal. Anthony Vienzio from St. Louis to Texas on a minor league contract with an invitation to spring training. Tristan Peters, Tampa to the White Sox, was traded for cash. Christian Morel, Tampa to Miami on a 1-year, staying in Florida. Brad Keller, his 3 saves, 2.707 ERA, 75 strikeouts, headed to the Phillies on a 2-year deal. That was a 2-year deal he signed? Yes, it was. Jose Herrera, going from Arizona to Texas, was a minor league contract. Caleb Ferguson, on his way back to the National League with joining the Reds from the Mariners on a 1-year deal. Tyler Austin joins the Cubs on a 1-year deal. Chris Martin staying in Texas on a 1-year deal. Michael King staying in San Diego on a 3-year deal. Merrill Kelly re-upped with went from Texas back to Arizona. He's back in Arizona on a 2-year deal. Adrian Hauser going from Tampa to San Francisco on a 2-year deal. Josh Bell jumping ship from Washington again. He's now a Twin on a 1-year deal. Shane Baz traded for minor league catcher Caden Bodine and outfielder Slater DeBaun, who was the number 1 draft pick of the Baltimore Orioles. Was it? No, not Baltimore. No, from Tampa. The number 1. Yeah, no, Baltimore's. Yeah, Baltimore's. 2 years ago or last year? Slater DeBaun last year or 2 years ago. Kyle Backhus, of course, joining the Phillies from the Diamondbacks on was traded for minor league outfielder Avery Asuo-Asido. Kyle Finnegan going from Detroit to Detroit on a 2-year deal. Stuart Fairchild going from Tampa to Cleveland on a minor league contract. Sean Armstrong, Texas to Cleveland. Malukta Murakamiya is now a White Sox on a 2-year deal. Luke Weaver going from the Yankees to the Mets, as the Mets trying to do something on a 2-year contract. Rob Riesendorf, you know what it is, going to Seattle on a 1-year deal. Zach Pop, yes, that's right, Zach Pop, 1-year contract with the Phillies. Foster Griffin joins the Nationals on a 1-year deal. Sean Genther stays in Detroit on a minor league contract, and that is it. That is your most up-to-date in the hot stove, signed, sealed, and delivered category of 2026. Way behind on that thing. 5 pages worth of players to go through. So we are all now caught up on the hot stove for 2026 so far. Let's go now to our card of the night segment. We're going to wrap this show up so we can get ready for a Clear the Ice. So let's do card of the night. And here we go. All right, tonight's card review segment here on the It's a Wrap Sports and the Final Word, brought to you by the great folks over at the as Al says back on the airwaves on Friday nights, the Philly Friday Frenzy with Al Zafiri. Tonight we're going to go way back to 2024. Yes. This has been a thing that Topps Baseball Cards has been doing probably since the 80s. They started really doing this. Taking cards retro from years past, repackaging them some way as a parallel or an insert, using the original card but marketing it a little differently, putting the year that it was on, that it was published, and then the year that it's part of the set. Sort of like a blast of the past, sort of connecting the future or the present and the past. They've been doing it since the 80s, and they've gotten funky with it. They've gotten really technical with it over years. Some cards were repurposed in 1 year and then repurposed again for another year. And tonight's one of those such cards. Of course, this is a card of a player who hasn't played baseball in a long time, one of the greatest players ever to play the game, the heir apparent to Babe Ruth for the New York Yankees, and Mr. Lou Gehrig. And this was actually his 2014. It showed up in the 2014 set. Now, this card, I believe, is from his 1935 or 37 card, but it was repurposed in 2014. Now, the 2014 card was then repurposed again and shown as part of Topps 2025 originals in 2024. Or I should say, it was repurposed again in 2014. Shown in 2024, and now we're seeing again in 2025 as part of Topps' 2025 originals. Now, what 2025 or what the originals is, and this card doesn't have the originals little stamp on it. You're going to see what I'm talking about in a second. They take a card from the past and they just stamp it as an original and then they recirculate it in the year that they're going to talk it as an original. And so this card that's from 2014 originally, or I should say from the 1930s originally, redone in 2014, redone again in 2024, made a 2025 originals now in 20. It's still listed as a 2024 card, but it was stamped in 2025 as an original and reissued in Topps 2025. It's a mouthful, right? It's a long way to get to Lou Gehrig. And of course, the heir apparent to Babe Ruth. I've had this battle with Yankee fans in the past, and I'm not a Yankee aficionado, and I'm not a Yankee fan at all. But when you talk Yankee like royalty, right? The genealogy of the Yankees, is it interesting, or is it appropriate to say Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Thurman Munson, Don Mattingly, Derek Jeter, Aaron Judge? Is that appropriate? Does that pretty much sum it up throughout the course of the Yankees' history? As the Mount Rushmore guys of that era. Did I hit everybody right? There's some questions in the 70s about Reggie Jackson, but I don't know. I don't know. Reggie's not a homegrown guy. So I don't know, but Thurman Munson, who died early in his life. But is that correct? Is that a correct genealogy of the New York Yankees? But anyway, this is the Lou Gehrig. And anytime you can get a Lou Gehrig baseball card, it works. And it's a pretty cool looking card. Again, repackaged from 2014. Here it is. And as you can see, the gold stamp on the front says 2025 originals. That is what makes it, once again, relevant for this year. So the Lou Gehrig 2024-2025 Topps originals is my card review. Anytime you get a card like a Lou Gehrig or anybody like that, there's the back of the card. Again, this card was originally from 2014. All right. And then repurposed in 2024 and then restamped for 2025. And here it is. The Lou Gehrig Topps 2024, now 2020, top 2024 originals 2025. Cool card, right? Only Lou Gehrig card I have in my entire collection. The only one. So $25 right now, pretty much on any sort of database. Steve, I see you in the backstage area. I am signing off. I got to cut the show short tonight because of a post-game obligation. So I'll be back again tomorrow night. So please, I apologize. I gotta sign off to come back in, and I'm not taking calls during post-game. So tomorrow night, I am so sorry. Tomorrow night at 9:00, I'll be back for this show. So again, accept my apologies. The phone lines are closed. Sorry. Again, I normally would stay open, but I gotta cut it short. So listen, I will be back about 5 minutes. 4-1 now. Flyers looking to win this thing. I'll be back in about 5 minutes for some Clear the Ice. And until then, so I see you in about 5 minutes. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow on this program at 9:00. So have a good night, and I'll see you in a little bit for Clear the Ice.